I actually cut 2 inches off the width of the mattress. This one I swivel around literally every day. She was quite an inspiration to people, so I decided to write the children's books about her story. There's a place for everything. Hi, I'm Dawn Gibbons, author of the Daphne the Blind Dog series of children's books, and this is my home on wheels. Let's take a tour. Welcome to our kitchen. I have a very large sink here, primarily for the purpose of bathing the dog. I have a plastic bin inside the sink, which is helpful for doing the dishes. Above, I have a basket for storage, and I put hooks on there, and that allows me to hang any wet items to drip over the sink. That can be my swimsuit, it can be shower items, or the cloth from doing the dishes. The counter does lift up and extends here, so I usually use that for the wet dishes waiting to dry. I have kitchen linens here in the top drawer, garbage and recycling in this drawer. I find one of the challenges in van life is where to dispose of my garbage and recycling, because I can be at a park and there can be garbage cans, but it says no household garbage, so you feel kind of guilty putting your household garbage in there. And also for recycling, I'm accustomed to mixed recycling at home, but in public places, they're usually only collecting bottles and cans because there's been a deposit paid and they're worth money. In here, I have vanity drawers. So they are really baskets that pull out, and I can put them on the counter and do what I need to do. So whether it's brushing my teeth or combing my hair, everything's in there. As well, I keep the dog food in there. I have hot running water here, and again, that is primarily for the purpose of washing the dog. For dishes and things, I don't need as much hot water as the tank holds, so I'm usually just using water from a kettle for dishes. So my water tank holds, I believe, 50 liters, so it is quite big, and my hot water tank is about 16 liters. The water pump and water heater switches are right here, very handy for me. Opposite the sink, I have all of my storage here. These are stairs built for the dog to be able to get up to the bed on his own. The bottom step lifts up, and I can store my electronics in there. Both my laptops are in there. I do work here full time, so laptops are crucial. The second one also lifts up, and it is 2 layers of shoe storage. I made sure to buy boots that are only ankle height so that they fit in the shoe storage. I have a couple of drawers here that I just use for dry food goods. At the end here, this is my utensil drawer. I have forks and knives, scissors, things like that. In this wide drawer, this is where I have my cooktop. So this is an electronic induction cooktop, and I take it out and put it on the counter to cook. And the switch for the inverter is right here when I need to use the electricity. And because I have stairs, I gave up a counter, so I had a drop-down counter built in. This is my coffee station. This is where my cooktop goes. When I'm cooking, it is the handiest thing ever. And up here, I have storage for general dishes. I'm very big on paper plates and paper bowls. Also, when I'm cooking, I have the ceiling fan here to ventilate the air out. My previous dog, Daphne, being the star of the books, she was 4 years old when I adopted her, already blind and had to have all of her teeth removed. She was quite an inspiration to people, and so I decided to write the children's books about her story. 1 month into our book tour in the van, she passed away, unfortunately, which was very devastating at the time. After that, I decided I really needed a companion in the van with me, so I adopted Maxwell here. He is now the ambassador for Daphne's books, and just before I adopted him, he had both of his eyes surgically removed for medical reasons. Hey, did you hear your name? And you perked up? Huh? I have a decent-sized fridge. This fridge was a bit of a challenge to select, but it has a curved back that allows it to fit nicely against the curved wall of the van. It's got a decent amount of storage. The freezer is a little bit small. It's probably the size of a loaf of bread, but it's enough for what I use. Above the fridge, I have storage for, well, I have paper towels in here. I have bins that hold my food storage containers. At the back, I have a printer, which I often use for book tour related printing, and I have a bin that holds all my stationery, so paper for the printer and all kinds of stationery items as well. One of the reasons I selected the fridge that I did, I wanted it up off the ground so that there was a safe place for the blind dog to go. So there is a crate built underneath the fridge, which is a good size for a small dog. In this drawer is my toilet. It is a C-head toilet, C-head with the letter C. Apparently the company is no longer in business, so you can't get this toilet, sorry to tell you. But I really like it. It uses a gallon milk jug to collect the liquids, and I just use a pet bedding in a bucket that is positioned at the back for the solids. Behind this door is access actually to the garage storage, which is under the entire bed, and the very first thing I can access is my laundry bin, which is a good size. And also I have my shower bag handy right here as well. I have a double-sized bed, which is a good size for me. And I actually cut 2 inches off the width of the mattress because I really wanted these storage bins on the side. They are about 7 inches deep and they store pajamas, socks and underwear, that type of thing. The bulk of my clothes are stored up here in both cupboards. Usually my off-season clothes are in that side and my in-season clothes are on this side, easier for me to get to. I have some decorative cushions that are actually used to store sheets and towels, that type of thing. Across the back, you'll see that I have some bars, and those are actually tension rods used for shower curtains usually. So it's making kind of a headboard, but the purpose is to protect the blind dog from inadvertently going over the edge and down into kind of a wide cavity between the bed and the doors. When the dog is free to come up the stairs, I have this barrier using the table brackets, and this prevents the dog from going up or down this high area as opposed to the stairs. And at nighttime, I also want to block off the stairs, and so I just have a piece of board that I tuck in like that. And then he is safe and I feel like I'm in a crib. On this side, I have hung my ukulele and my music books are here. I have a fan here for in the summertime. On the bunk windows, I have insulating covers that fold up nicely, and during the daytime, I just tuck them under the cushions. I also have similar insulated window covers on the back. Above the bed, I have a marine hatch, and the reason I put in a marine hatch as opposed to a second fan is so that I can reach out of the opening and clean off my solar panel. With that, I don't need to mount or store a ladder for that purpose. So the screen just pops out, opens like that. So this is where I work every day. This is my office. Both seats are able to swivel, but this one I swivel around literally every day. And this is my desk. So it's a swivel table. This is where I can eat as well. I have my laptop stored in the lowest step, handy for me to set up for work every day. There are plugs right at the bottom of the wall here. I have a wall-mounted file holder where I keep notebooks and pens and things. This is my Wi-Fi modem, which is critical for my working on the road. I get unlimited data across Canada and free roaming in the United States. It is from Maple Wi-Fi, so it is a Canadian service, and it is designed for mobile and rural users in Canada. I have the curtains going around the back above the windshield, and that gives me a nice backdrop for video calls, that sort of thing, and prevents glare on the laptop monitor. And it also gives me privacy and a bit of temperature control. I also do have insulating window covers that go flush on all of the front windows, similar to the ones that I have shown you at the back. On the shelf above me here, I have a basket that is actually my toolbox. All my tools are there, electric drill, screwdriver, hammer, all the things you need to maintain your home. This bin holds primarily my vacuum cleaner. It is a car vacuum and it operates with a battery similar to cordless tools. So the battery for the vacuum cleaner and the cordless drill are actually interchangeable, which is nice. When one runs out, you have a spare. The last basket is primarily where I keep my security cameras. I do have cameras that I've put magnets on that I can put on the outside of the van, and then I get video footage and notifications of motion on my phone. I also have a small camera that is for indoor use. If I'm leaving the dog alone in the van, then I can set up the camera, and again, I'm notified of any motion. And if he's having a problem, I can come and check on him. Also for work, it's important for me to be able to keep track of the time. So I really do like having a wall clock that is handy to see from just about anywhere in the van. And I particularly like having it visible when I'm coming into my home office. Living in the van really gives us the opportunity to go really anywhere across Canada to share the books, being our purpose for the van. And we have a place to sleep all the time, and we can cook on the road and literally have everything with us all the time. When I was sharing the books out of my car, on weekends, I would have to load everything into the car and unload when I got home and store things in the garage, and it was really quite a process. So now that I have everything just packed away and ready to go at any time, it's very, very convenient for us. This is my garage storage. It looks very cluttered, but it's actually very organized because I had organization built in by Midwest Van Builders, also known as Johnny's Journey on YouTube. And there are shelves and channels and walls that have been put in to keep things exactly organized, and there's a place for everything. I have a 10 by 10 canopy that I need for markets for sharing the books on the book tour. It is 65 inches long, which is what determined the orientation and size of the bed in the first place. I have 4 25-pound weights for the canopy. I have a 6-foot table, and those go into a channel here, easily accessible. And I have a wagon. I use that for hauling things around for the market, and also this thick mattress for the wagon is for the purpose of the dog. A blind dog doesn't really want to walk a long way for a long time, so a wagon comes in handy with a blind dog. I also have my bicycle and a basket for the dog to ride on the front of the bike. This gives me access to fill my water tank. It is a 50-liter water tank, and I can fill it with a hose or with this jug. I have my hose in a lunch bag here. I really like lunch bags for storing things because they have a waterproof liner and they are a good compact size for storing items. I have an air compressor here for the van and bicycle tires. This is just a rubber mat that comes in handy when I'm standing on concrete for a book market all day. In this cabinet here is all my electrical system with batteries and inverter and all the things. Don't ask me how much power I have. I have a lot. And I have a solar panel on the roof. It's a 300-watt solar panel that charges the batteries as well. It charges from the alternator. And I can plug into shore power. I have an electrical cable here. When I plug into shore power, I'm concerned that I'm going to drive away forgetting that I'm plugged in. So I have a lanyard here that I actually put on the steering wheel when I've plugged into shore power, and that way I remember to get unplugged. Also in here is a Webasto heater. I do live in Canada and my book tour is across Canada, so a heater is important. And I have the heat control right near the bed. For more information about us and the children's books, go to daphnetheblinddog.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you for joining us for our van tour. We'll see you again down the road.